guys, so I wanted to come on here today and talk to y'all about my inspiration video. I know I haven't done these in a few weeks, maybe even a month. I don't know. It's been a while. But I'm getting to it. So I actually had this wrote, and I'm the type of person I have to have things wrote down and thought out before I can even talk about it, or I'm just going to be making myself a big huge mess. So like I said, I had this wrote out last week, and I meant to do it sooner, but I haven't got to it. So today I figured I would come on here and talk about it, because I know that a lot of you all like these types of videos, and so I just like sharing things with people, and maybe it could help encourage people along the way, because I think, I've said this plenty of times before, going through things in life is our testimony. And without a test, there is no testimony. So that's what I always tell myself, anytime I'm going through anything, or if somebody's going through a hard time in their life, and, that's just a test that God's putting us in, whether it's good or bad, and it's up to us if we can make it through it, and we just have to put our trust in God. So I wanted to come on here and talk to you all. Let me get a sip of my coffee. This is my second cup today, so woohoo! I've got to watch how much I drink, because I had went to my grandma's house, Lord, I think it was a few days ago, and drank some coffee there. It was late in the evening. Guys, I tossed and turned the whole entire night. I literally didn't sleep but probably 2 hours. I had called my mama the next day. I'm like, dude, I'm not drinking no more coffee in the evening at your house, because she's got some dark coffee, and I mean, seriously, it's dark, and it's strong, so it's kind of funny. It's good, though, but it's dark. So, anyways, so I wanted to come on here and talk to you all. Now, this subject here that I'm fixing to be talking about is it's hard for me to talk about, because a lot of this stuff that's happened in the past, I just try to, not really think about it and stuff, because those that you love and you miss, you don't really like thinking about it. So it might be hard for me at first to get this out, but I just felt led to talk about this last week, and I didn't get to it, so I will today. Anyways, as you can see, this one don't have a subject, but what this one's about is my husband's granny, or actually nanny. He called her nanny. And she was diagnosed with breast cancer way before I had even met my husband. And anyways, right at the time that me and him had got together, her cancer had come back. So during this whole process and everything, I was in the midst of it all, and I bonded with her and got close with her. So I seen how I guess you would say healthy at the time, and then she just went down, and it was a really hard time, but we made it through it. And so anyways, enough with the rambling, right? Okay. So I'm just going to read this. I'm the type of person, I have to think about it and then write it down. I can't just get on here and talk about stuff, because if I did that, I would be rambling, and I would be on here for 4 hours. So that's why I have everything wrote down. And if I mess some stuff up, just forgive me, because, sort of a hard subject to talk about. So anyways, it says the year 2004 was a new chapter in my life. In March, I met the person I had always been searching for, my husband. I only knew him for 4 months. We married July the 5th. I knew without a shadow of doubt he was my soulmate. We stayed with my mama for a few months, then moved to Justin's house where his nanny lived. I'll be honest with you, it was a huge change for me. I had never been away from my mama. I'll never will forget it. The first few months was the hardest. One day I remember calling my mama and was crying. I told her I missed her. She said, Stephanie, it's part of growing up. This is what you wanted, so deal with it. It's funny now looking back on it, and she was right. That year was definitely a year of change. New life, and new beginnings. I was pregnant with her first, Katie. Everything was so new to me. I will never forget the first time I met Justin's nanny. She was so sweet and kind to me. She welcomed me into the family like I was her very own granddaughter. I felt as if she was my grandma. She had the same kind of heart like my grandma has. We lived with her for several months, then we bought our own place. We lived on our own for several months. It just wasn't really working out for us then. And two, his nanny's cancer had returned, so it was best for us to move back into his grandma's house. I know that I'm all over the place, but I had to give y'all a little idea before I just jumped into this. I was pregnant with Katie the first year we lived with Dolly, which that's his nanny. Dolly had breast cancer, was in remission for several years, and then it came back. During my pregnancy, I stayed so sick, so during the day, me and Dolly would lay around and watch TV. She was sick from having to take chemo, so that year we both bonded. She was just like my mama, I felt. Right before I gave birth to Katie, she helped me get Katie's room decorated, all the clothes washed and hung up. She was so excited. I remember her telling me one day that she hoped she would live long enough to see Katie. I said, Dolly, you will. That she did. Katie brought us so much joy in all of our lives. March of '05 is when Dolly took for the worse. I would have to say that was one of our most hard times in our life. We sat and watched her go down so fast. I never been around anyone with cancer until that year. Never did Dolly once complain until near at the end. We had a new baby, which was a happy time, but then again, our sweet nanny, whose life was about to end. My husband would work days, then during the days, I was there taking care of Nanny and Katie. I also breastfed, which was very time-consuming, but still I managed to care for Dolly. I made sure I could do all I could for her. Again, she felt just like my own grandma. Those few months, we talked a lot. We bonded so close, but yet I only knew her for a short while. I was the one that would give her medicine. One day, Justin came home. Well, I had went to lay down. He tried his best to give his nanny her meds. She said, no, I want Stephanie in here. She knows what to do. Looking back now, that makes my heart smile. Because nobody else could give that lady medicine but me. Like, she would holler. She'd be like, no, I want Stephanie to do it. And it was kind of funny, looking back now. During those times, I can remember to this day how exhausted we both were. It took a huge toll on my body. I had lost down to like 120 pounds. I didn't for once stop. I kept on going, even at times I felt so weak. My heart hurt for Justin, his family, and Dolly. I knew she was so tired and ready to go home and be with the Lord. One day before she went into a coma, she had asked me if her rose bush had bloomed. I said yes. Do you want to go look? I said, we will have to hurry before we get caught. She wasn't supposed to be walking around. She was so weak. So off we went, just a giggling to the door. And I'll never forget it. Her socks were like down below her feet, and like the socks was like that much loose off her feet. It was so hilarious, us walking to get to the door in a hurry. She said, oh, those are so pretty. She loved flowers so much, so I took her back to her bed, and we began to talk. She said, now, Stephanie, I want to talk to you about something. I said, okay, what is it? She said, out of all the girls Justin has been with, I was so different. She said, keep Justin in church and Katie. She said, I know you will. She said, when I leave this world, I know he will be okay because he has you and Katie. I remember holding her hand and tears just rolling down my face. And hers as well. She said, and another thing is, I'm going to leave this house for you and Justin. I didn't really know what to say. I remember just sitting in silence for a while. I knew she was getting ready to leave this old world. Shortly after that, maybe a few weeks, she went into a coma. We would talk to her and sing to her. I remember the feeling of death and how near it was. It was an uneasy feeling, but yet so peaceful. It was an uneasy feeling, but yet a peaceful one. The good Lord was in that room with her. Justin's family was down, and we had ate breakfast and lay down. We heard a gargle, and Justin's stepmom yelled and said she thinks this is it. So we ran up to her bedside. Justin had her hand, and so did I. We was there when she took her last breath. Life is so precious. The uneasy feeling was gone in that room. A peace had come over the room. You could definitely feel the angels and God's presence coming to take her home. What a sweet, dear lady that I had got to meet for just a short while. She showed her love and kindness to me. If I had to take care of her all over again, I definitely would. It was such a hard journey, but it was a rewarding one as well. During times like this is when the Lord carries you. All the time you don't feel it, but looking back now, I know to help. I know He helped us with strength every step of the way. There's a lot of things we stored away trying to forget all these sad times, many of tears and heartaches. But they sometimes are reminders of how God is with you in the good times and in the bad times. If any of you are caring for a loved one, I know how hard it is, mentally and physically. Doing all you can do is all that matters. So that is just a little brief thing that I felt like sharing with you all. Now, I know for a fact there's one on here that's caring for her mom, and I'm sure there's others that's caring for their loved ones as well. But a lot of people can just look at it and think that, there's nothing to it, or, it's just normal. But when you're with like a loved one, that's somebody that you love, and you're caring for them, and you're spending all this time with them and stuff, and then also you're watching them like go down from like being like, somewhat healthy and then all the way down, it's very mentally, physically, like a toll on you. Like it just takes a lot, while doing these things. So those of you that are just trust in the Lord, because guys, He will help y'all. I know I've been there before, and it wasn't easy, but it's something that now I can look back and say, I done all that I could do, and He done all He could do, and very, very thankful that we, could do that for her and take care of her and help her. And life is precious, and we should always love the ones that, are there for us, and help the ones that need help always, even if you don't feel like it at times when your body's weak, or, you still need to help others. So that's my video for the Inspiration Week, and it's a sort of tough topic to talk on because it brings back a lot of memories and stuff, but that's just something that I felt like sharing. So just don't give up, guys, whoever may be taking care of others. I know it's very, very difficult at times, and the only thing that I can tell you all is to trust in God, because that's what carried us during those hard, rough times. And just remember, just trust in the good Lord up above, because He'll carry you. So anyways, until next time, I will talk to y'all later, and I hope y'all are having a blessed day. Bye.